Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your March 2020 mid-month general readings. Welcome everyone, welcome newcomers and first-timers, and welcome back followers and subscribers. Thanks for being here today, and thanks for all that you do in support of this channel, even if it's nothing more than just tuning in today and subscribing. Always grateful for any and all of that. So I have a new computer, no more headset, better audio, and also am breaking in a new deck of cards, still by one of my favorite tarot card artists, Ciro Marchetti. This particular deck is called The Legacy of the Divine Tarot, and the artwork is just gorgeous. So it's all new today. So this reading is for March mid-month. So we're looking at the last half of March, and this reading is for the fire sign of Sagittarius. That is Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Sag Rising. If your Venus is in Sagittarius, if your primary sun sign is in Sagittarius, or if you're cross-watching for a Sagittarian as well. I hope that was all cohesive. But as many of you know, general readings always resonate a little differently for everyone who watches, because everyone has, of course, unique individual lives. So it's a good idea, if you know your other signs, you know, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, to watch those as well, because it can provide more information and additional clarification for you. If any of these readings do resonate with you, and you'd like to take a deeper look at something or reach out for a personal reading or information on a personal reading, you can click on the description link below for more info, contact details. Email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do offer a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. And timing is pretty good. I do readings full time, so I'm pretty diligent at working with your schedule in mind to get readings out to you or scheduled with you as quickly as possible. So send me an email and we'll go from there. Okay. So Sagittarius, let's see what the last half of March has in store for you. Okay, Sagittarius, we begin with the 8 of Coins, followed by the 6 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, followed by the 5 of Cups, and from the bottom of the deck, overall energy for the last half of March is the 9 of Swords, which I never like seeing. It's a lot of stress, anxiety, worry, insomnia, etc. Too much. It doesn't match the situation. Sorry about the glare. These cards are quite glossy, and I still have to work out the best lighting. So the 9 of Swords is your overall energy, Sagittarius, for the last half of March. I never really like seeing the 9 of Swords because it represents a lot of stressful, even negative mental energy. Air is the element which governs the suit of swords, and in the tarot, the suit of swords, air energy, governs our mind. So thoughts, belief systems, ideas, ideology, words, communication. But it can also represent truth, insight, enlightenment, how we communicate ourselves to the external world. So the 9 of Swords is a card about basically your fears and anxieties and insecurities and fear of an unknown future kind of hijack your logical mind. This is a card of kind of your mind being your own worst enemy and perhaps not being able to sleep about it. It might be one specific overall thought or a variety of thoughts combined to give this stress, anxiety, worry. One of the positive aspects of the 9 of Swords is that it often represents, I won't necessarily say making mountains out of a molehill. I mean, the source of your stress, anxiety, fear, sadness may be quite valid, but the 9 of Swords usually comes up when you're dwelling on it too much, even obsessively, you know, kind of your brain's kind of devouring itself, and you're imagining maybe how the future is going to play out or how some process is going to work, and it's almost always the worst possible outcome. So it's a card that can reflect focusing on something, worrying and fearing something to the extent that it gets so big in your head that it actually doesn't match the reality of the situation itself. So you can almost always cut back this energy of the 9 to like a 3 or a 4. So what is this all about? We have the Eight of Cups, sorry, the Eight of Coins with the Six of Cups. So the Eight of Coins in my previous decks, the Eight of Pentacles, it's the Eight of Earth. Earth is the element which governs the suit. And this suit is often about things in our life, the physical structure of our life that makes us feel safe, secure, solid, stable. The efforts we put into acquiring those things, maintaining those things. So it often points to, coins or pentacles often points to things like money, finance, property, real estate, assets, material stuff, job. The Eight of Coins is the straight up work card. This is a card of working a lot, maybe working overtime, getting up early, staying up late, being very dedicated at what you're doing, paying attention to detail. A lot of work has gone into something. Now, the clarifying card for the Eight of, and this can also be on an emotional level. Coins, that earth energy, can also represent emotional things that make us feel stable, long-term relationships of all different kinds as well. And it's clarified by the Six of Cups, which is a card often associated with the past, reminiscence, nostalgia, childhood, parents, roots of origin, where you grew up, people, places, relationships, situations that you have a long time historical connection with, whether they date back to childhood or not. It can also represent, the time of childhood where we felt a lot more carefree and we didn't carry kind of the worries and concerns that we often do, as a grown-up in the grown-up world. So all this stress, anxiety, fear, worry, there is something that you have invested a great deal into: time, money, effort, love, resources, etc. Something that you've been putting all this effort into for quite some time. You actually next have the Two of Cups and the Five of Cups. So the Two of Cups is the traditional soulmate card. It doesn't necessarily need to be romantic soulmates. It can be best friends, kindred spirits. And the Six of Cups is also sometimes referenced as the soulmate card too, and you have both of them here. And the Five of Cups, which is a card of sadness, loss, grief, grieving over something which is gone. However, just like in the other deck, she's grieving over the Three Cups which are spilled out. She still has two which are upright and full. But she's grieving for what's been lost. So something has been lost or has been losing, or you're in the process of losing, or perhaps saying goodbye to something that you've invested, this could be about a relationship specifically, Sagittarius, but for some reason, I don't feel like for a pretty good portion of you, although it may for some of you, general readings are like that. They're always going to resonate a little differently. For some of you, it might be about a specific relationship that is drawing to a close, but I don't feel like I don't have this breakup feeling to it. So what I am getting is a couple of different stories here. For some of you, you and your partner or your best friend, kindred spirit, it could be husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, I feel like the two of you are actually together leaving something or moving away from something. There is a feeling here for some of you that this is a physical moving away or a physical relocating. I'm kind of getting that for some of you. And that's where the sadness is. And of course, that could be where a lot of the stress is too. I hate moving. I'd rather have a root canal than move. I hate the disorder and chaos of moving. I don't mind the disorder of setting up a new place, but the process of actually packing things up and cleaning and getting it from point A to point B, wherever that point B is, I just find excruciating. So a lot of the stress could be about some of the details about how it's going to work out, finances, all of that kind of stuff. But there's also an element of sadness here too, because I feel like the two of you are leaving something, people behind, maybe a place behind for those of you who are physically moving and relocating. You still have two goblets which are full. But to me, for some of you who are actually physically moving away with your partner or your wife or your husband or whatever, there's sadness because you're leaving a place, situation, and people that you love, that you care about, that you've invested, perhaps even a job that you've invested a lot of time and effort, money and resources and history, history. And you're moving forward and you're celebrating some beautiful, lovely things together. but you still having to close out some chapter of something. Some of you may have found out that someone who was very close to you, a best friend, someone that you looked at as a best friend, a kindred spirit, someone you truly loved, although perhaps not in a romantic sense, they are moving away or you are moving away. For some reason, I keep getting this very strong for a lot of you, regardless of the details around it. This sense of physical separation, although not an actual like romantic breakup, like the relationship came to an end because of, you know, some angry thing or infidelity or, you know, it just had run its course. It could be that for some of you, but the strongest energy and the loudest stories I'm getting is a sense of physical separation, stress around the practicalities of that, and, you know, emotional sadness over leaving it behind, whether it's one person leaving you, you leaving that other person behind, but leaving in terms of having to move or relocate, or you and your partner kind of doing that as well. It could be a business partner, but if that's the case, it's, you know, it's a very, very close like relationship. Let's clarify if we can. The Spirit will let us see, what is this kind of about? What is this loss and this stress about? Oh, that's too big of a chunk of cards. So I'm going to put those back in and keep shuffling. Okay. Oh, death. So a pretty significant ending. Transformation, the ground being completely cleared out so that something else can be planted, something else can be birthed, because birth follows death, beginnings follow endings. There is the seed in every ending. There is the seed of what is to come next, and right behind it, look at that, the Eight of Cups, the walking away from that which perhaps some of it was quite good. Again, we have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Coins. You've put a lot into this, but it's time to leave, and there is the implication that leaving the Eight of Cups, even while some of you may have enjoyed what was in some of these cups, I mean, the cards are in chronological order for a reason. The cup after this, of course, would be the Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment, getting everything you want. So in this preceding card, there is a strong implication that you're leaving it because your fulfillment, the path to the Nine and then the completion of the Ten of Cups is still out there. But in order to have that, to attain that, you must walk away from something. There has to be this pretty radical, pretty final ending so that there can be that transformation and rebirth. And again, I'm getting a sense of sadness, but to be honest, again, for many of you, it doesn't feel abnormal. It feels like a situation where if, you know, that it would normally be. And again, I'm getting this strong sense of physical separation, moving, relocating, you and your partner or someone kind of doing that away from you, because whoever is the one kind of leaving, they're being called to leave. It's because their time there is done and they're being called to leave, whether it's you or somebody else. It's time for them to move on to something else. Let's ask, why this leaving, why this walking away, why this ending? These cards have such a different noise to them than the other ones did. You know, it always takes some time to get used to a new deck. Six of Coins and the Six of Swords. Wow. So what is this path providing? This, whoever it is that's like leaving or walking away. So we have the Six of Coins, which in my previous deck was the Six of Pentacles, which often represents the giving or receiving of a gift. It can sometimes represent other things too, but I'm not getting that here, so I'm not going to put it out there. Giving or receiving of a gift. And I feel like it's the giving of a gift here, and that gift is healing, because the Six of Swords represents moving away from waters which may have been very murky, choppy, wavy, turbulent, stormy, and sailing into waters that are more calm, peaceful, placid, serene. Now, it's a transitional card, meaning you've left the worst behind you, or what you needed to leave behind, and you're moving on. You're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're moving towards that. So there is a sense of peace, healing, and restoration. But just like with the Five of Cups, the path you're moving on is to something better. But there's still a sense of, sadness, poignancy to it as well. Kind of a bittersweet sort of feeling. But so whoever's leaving is doing that because the path that they're moving on is bringing healing of something in some way. It's better for them in some way. And it's an actual gift, which for most of you, if not all of you, is a gift from the divine. Even though with most separations and leavings, if not all, there is a sadness of leaving something, someone, people, places behind as well. So for those of you for whom this reading resonates, but it's somebody else that's doing the leaving, they need to. It really is the path they're being called onto. Let's see, let's just clarify one more thing. This healing, giving of the gift of healing is what I'm getting. The Ten of Cups, the happy home card. I mean, so here in the Eight of Cups, we're leaving to find the Nine of Cups, are the wish fulfillment, and the Ten of Cups, where it all comes together in achievement and fulfillment in a way that's truly beautiful, particularly emotionally, and particularly in a way that positively affects and unites and brings together some energy that affects your home and family, because the Ten of Cups is called the happy home card, kind of the happily ever after card. So again, regardless of who is leaving, because for all of you out there, it's going to be different people. For some of you, it might be somebody else close to you. They're being called on a path, or you're being called on a path of healing. And for those of you who are going through being separated from someone that you really love, even though it may be difficult, remember that this is something which is meant to be. There may be some things going on in this other person's life or home and family that have been very difficult or challenging for their home and family, if that's not you. And this new path is one of healing and restoration for home and family as well. So keep that in mind. It's kind of one of those bittersweet readings. It's lovely in some ways and kind of sad in the other, because there's an ending and there's a leaving and there's a walking away, but it's really towards something better. For some of you, if this is a personal romantic relationship, again, it's the same thing. You're being separated, you're being called on different paths because that's the path of healing for you. For those of you, I'm speaking to those of you for whom this may resonate as more of a breakup than anything else. Your healing on each of your individual paths is going to have to be separate, at least for the time being. So, because I feel very strongly this is kind of a sense of divine timing and orchestration as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. We do have the Ten of Cups at the end of it. So remember that. So Sagittarius, that is your reading for the last half of March 2020. I often say I hope you enjoy these readings. Some readings I don't feel like I can. This one, it's kind of that gray area. I don't know if I hope you enjoyed it or not. I mean, these things happen in life sometimes. And so while perhaps it hasn't been all that enjoyable, I hope that at least it was informative and helpful, maybe brought some clarification or some validation to those of you for whom this situation resonates. And again, if you did, or if this reading or any of the readings do resonate with you, and if there's something you'd like to take a deeper look at, or you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, just click on the description link below. Just click on that little arrow and it'll pull down some information, some contact details. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the April 2020 general readings. Until then, as always, Sagittarius, keep your chin up, and I wish you much love, joy, and peace and healing as well. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.